What keeps you from feeling worthy of abundance? Have you ever noticed how, for so many people, abundance seems like something meant for others? As if money, prosperity, and financial freedom have a specific address, and somehow it's never yours. Sometimes you work hard, you put in the effort, yet something blocks the financial flow. And no, it's not always a lack of ability. More often than not, it's mindset, limiting beliefs, and a quiet, unspoken feeling of not being worthy. One that settles in without asking permission. Maybe you give little, ask little, receive little. Not because the world is scarce, but because deep inside, there's still a conflict between self-worth, self-esteem, and your relationship with the energy of money. It's interesting how we can desire prosperity and at the same time reject the act of receiving, whether the compliment, an opportunity, or even a simple gift. It sounds contradictory, but it's far more common than we like to admit. Throughout this content, we're going to have a real conversation about scarcity, financial awareness, emotional blocks, and the power of investing in yourself. We'll talk about self-care, affirmations, and gratitude. Without fluff, without empty promises. There's no magic here. What I'm offering is clarity, because once you understand what's blocking you, prosperity stops being theory and starts becoming a real, lived experience in your daily life. Worthiness and abundance. Talking about worthiness touches a sensitive point. That's because many people associate abundance solely with effort, when in reality, it begins with mindset. You can work hard, study, dedicate yourself. But if deep down you feel unworthy, your financial flow becomes unstable. It's like trying to fill a cup with a hole in it. Money may come, but it doesn't stay. And this has nothing to do with luck. It has everything to do with financial awareness. Most financial struggles are born from invisible emotional blocks. Blocks tied to self-esteem and self-worth. People accept less, charge less, dream smaller. Because, often without realizing it, they believe that's all they're allowed to receive. Scarcity becomes an emotional pattern, not a real condition. And as long as it goes unquestioned, prosperity always feels distant, almost teasing. These blocks rarely come out of nowhere. They come from limiting beliefs inherited from family, culture, and the environment we grew up in. Phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy, slowly shape our relationship with the energy of money. That's why, instead of comparing yourself to others, it makes far more sense to look at your own evolution. Comparing who you are today to who you were yesterday is by itself a powerful act of personal growth. The difficulty of receiving. Many people say they want abundance, but freeze when it comes time to receive. Accepting help, compliments, or gifts can bring discomfort, embarrassment, even guilt. It's as if receiving were a sign of weakness or dependency. But deep down, this reveals a wound tied to worthiness and self-esteem. Do I really deserve this? And as long as that question goes unanswered, the financial flow feels it too. Refusing may look like humility, but often it's a direct reflection of feeling unworthy. When you say things like, you didn't have to, oh, it's nothing, or don't worry about it, you reinforce the belief that you're not worthy of receiving. What's interesting is that life, and even God, for those who believe, often manifests through people, opportunities, and simple gestures. Rejecting that is closing the door to prosperity. Learning to receive is a daily practice of awareness and gratitude. Start small. Accept a compliment without justifying yourself. Accept a gift without discomfort. Accept help without guilt. Just say thank you and feel it. That simple act begins to reprogram your relationship with money, strengthens your self-worth, and prepares you to receive bigger things, which naturally lead you to the next level of your journey. The impact of limiting beliefs about money. Limiting beliefs are ideas you learned, repeated so many times, that you eventually accepted them as absolute truth. They act like invisible filters in your mindset, determining how much you allow yourself to grow, earn, and receive. When it comes to money, these beliefs directly shape your financial awareness and how you position yourself in front of opportunities. Some beliefs build, others block. The difference lies in the results they create. Phrases like, money is bad, or money is hard to earn, may seem harmless, but they carry a heavy charge of scarcity. If money is seen as negative or painful, the subconscious creates resistance to abundance, even when it knocks at the door. This is where understanding your energetic relationship with money becomes essential. Money doesn't judge. It doesn't choose character. It doesn't define personal value. It simply responds to your internal posture. If you associate prosperity with guilt, fear, or inner conflict, the energy of money pulls away. Questioning these beliefs and replacing them with more conscious, aligned thoughts is the first step toward opening space for a new pattern of prosperity. The belief in a financial ceiling. Many people live under an invisible income ceiling, as if there were a maximum amount they're allowed to earn. When they get close to that number, something happens. An unexpected expense, a bad decision, a sudden fear. It's not bad luck. It's a mindset conditioned by scarcity. This ceiling often comes from a lack of references. If no one in your family or close circle experienced abundance or financial freedom, the subconscious assumes that life isn't meant for you. The absence of examples feeds silent, limiting beliefs that block the financial flow without you even noticing. It's not inability. It's a lack of expanded vision. The good news is this. Awareness expands through exposure, being close even virtually to people who prosper in healthy ways helps recalibrate your internal standard, not to compare, but to normalize new possibilities. Growth doesn't have to be sudden. It's gradual, built step by step. As you strengthen self-worth, invest in personal development, and allow the new to feel familiar. Self-esteem and worthiness. At the root of feeling unworthy is almost always low self-esteem. When someone doesn't recognize their own value, they accept less than they could. Less respect, less opportunity, less money. The pattern repeats because the subconscious seeks consistency with the internal image you have of yourself. If self-worth is low, abundance feels excessive. Accepting little becomes automatic. People call it realism or maturity, when in truth, it's fear of wanting more. This reflects in financial flow, career choices, and even relationships. The real question isn't, how much can I earn? It's, how much do I believe I deserve to receive? And that answer comes directly from self-esteem. That's why investing in yourself isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Self-care, therapy, courses, books, even rest. These are tangible ways of building personal value. When you treat yourself as someone important, the world responds differently, and the energy of money follows that internal shift, opening space for a more stable, aligned prosperity. Investing in yourself. When we talk about investing in yourself, many people think only of financial investments, but the greatest return comes from personal development, knowledge, emotional health, financial awareness. These are assets no one can take from you. A good book like Think and Grow Rich, or The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, can change decisions that impact your entire relationship with abundance. There's a huge difference between investing money and investing in your internal foundation. Those who seek financial return without working on mindset, self-esteem, and self-worth often fall into cycles of gain and loss. But those who strengthen themselves internally create a more stable financial flow because their decisions come from clarity, not fear or scarcity. Starting is simpler than it seems. Set aside an amount, even a small one, for courses, therapy, books, or self-care practices. Treat it as a priority, not what's left over. That gesture sends a clear message to your subconscious. I am worthy of growth. And when you believe that, the energy of money responds. Reframing money. For many people, money carries a heavy emotional charge, as if it were dirty, dangerous, or corrupting. But the truth is simple. Money is neutral energy. It doesn't change who you are. It amplifies who you already are. If there's guilt, fear, or inner conflict, money amplifies that. If there's awareness, purpose, and gratitude, money strengthens prosperity. When you understand this, you realize money isn't a villain. It's a tool for financial freedom, for security, for conscious choices, and even for creating positive impact in other people's lives. The problem was never money itself. It was the limiting beliefs built around it. Reframing money means looking at it without idolizing and without rejecting it. It means understanding that money serves your life, not the other way around. That shift brings lightness to financial flow, an open space for healthier decisions, money and freedom of choice. Lack of money limits choices anywhere in the world. That's not pessimism. That's reality. Scarcity restricts everything from small decisions to major life projects. Abundance, on the other hand, isn't about luxury. It's about choosing with calm, clarity, and alignment. Instead of constantly reacting to urgency, money creates options. The option to say no, to change paths, to care for your health, to invest in yourself, to help someone else. Financial freedom isn't about spending more. It's about living with less fear. When price stops being the only factor, purpose and awareness take the lead. Behaving like someone who is worthy, acting like someone who is worthy isn't arrogance. It's internal alignment. It's behavior that matches self-worth. It starts with simple actions, accepting thanking, stopping the habit of minimizing yourself. People who respect themselves naturally build a healthier relationship with money. This isn't about spending what you don't have. It's about allowing yourself small pleasures within your reality. A better coffee, time to rest, an accessible course, personal care. These gestures signal to the subconscious that you're not living only in survival mode, and that changes the energy of money. Another key point is stopping the habit of always putting yourself last. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. It's self-care. When you abandon yourself to please everyone else, emotional and financial scarcity settle in. When you treat yourself as a priority, prosperity finally has room to grow. Inspiring examples and references. References change everything. When you follow people who started with little and built prosperity, your mindset begins to understand that it's possible, not as fantasy, but as something built step by step. The key is using these stories as inspiration, not comparison. Comparing your behind-the-scenes to someone else's highlight reel only feeds scarcity. Everyone has a different timing, context, and process. Learn from their habits, choices, and posture, and adapt what fits your reality. Also, be mindful of what you consume. Avoid content that triggers envy, guilt, or inadequacy. Choose stories, books, and voices that encourage growth, self-investment, and a healthy relationship with money. What you consume daily directly influences your financial energy. Positive affirmations. At the beginning of the journey, affirmations are mental training. They're not about lying to yourself. They're about re-educating a mindset conditioned by scarcity. Simple phrases like, I deserve to prosper. I allow myself to receive. My relationship with money is healthy. They weaken old, limiting beliefs. The key isn't just repetition. It's gradually feeling the truth behind the words. Practice daily, in the morning or before sleep. Write them. Say them out loud. Visualize them. Over time, words become posture. Posture becomes decisions. And decisions reshape your financial flow, releasing guilt and fear of growth. Growth often triggers guilt and fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of standing out. Fear of leaving people behind. This internal conflict blocks worthiness and creates financial self-sabotage. Abundance tries to enter, but guilt closes the door. As you grow, some people may drift away. Not everyone will understand your mindset or dreams. It hurts, but it's part of personal evolution. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's self-respect. Releasing this weight requires trust and surrender. To life, to God if you believe, to the process. Dreams don't need external permission. When guilt and fear dissolve, the energy of money flows with ease. Final reflection. None of this happens overnight. Worthiness, abundance, prosperity, and financial freedom are built daily through small, conscious decisions. It's not about speed. It's about consistency. Practice turns theory into reality. Affirmations, self-care, investing in yourself, observing how you react to money and receiving. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. You're not asking too much from life. You're simply allowing it to give you more. Scarcity isn't your destiny. It's a pattern that can be rewritten. Ask yourself now, where do you still minimize yourself? Where do fear, guilt, or limiting beliefs speak louder than your worthiness? What would change if you allowed yourself to receive more, care for yourself better, and see money as an ally, not a threat? Don't think about giant leaps. Think about the next possible step, the one already within your reach. Transformation happens when reflection turns into action. And if this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with us. The next message you hear might be exactly the push you needed for prosperity to finally become your reality.